Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building here in the world of Salvadorada, and this time I am building a community lot, which is the first community lot that I am building in this world, not only for my save file, but of all time. And I'm so excited to share it with you because this is one of my most favorite builds I've ever done. I absolutely love this architectural style. I had so much fun landscaping it and doing the interior, and like everything about it to me was so much fun. And yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy it as much as I have. I did spend a very long time building this. I think like 9 or 10 hours, something like that. It took me a very long time. And so that's why the video is a bit longer. And yeah, I did think about splitting it into 2 parts because I have done that with some of my longer speed builds. But this one I really didn't think made sense to split into 2 parts because there wasn't a clear divide in videos. And so I just thought it would be a good opportunity to do a Q&A. So I did leave a post in my community tab for you guys to leave your questions. So I really appreciate all of you guys who left your questions, and I'm so excited to go through them and answer them. I've read some of them already, but I still have a lot of them to read because so many of you guys left questions. I'm so excited. But anyways, I'm going to talk about the build just for a little while just to give you guys some like context and say exactly what I'm going to be doing. And if I see anything on screen that I need to mention, I will go ahead and pause and talk about it and then, resume the Q&A afterwards. So hopefully you guys don't mind. I've never done a Q&A quite like this before. I mean, I've done Q&As. I actually did one kind of recently, so hopefully you don't mind. And I'm going to be doing another one. But yeah, I've never done one that's just kind of random and not for like a special subscriber special type video. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see me do more of these in the future, especially if I have more longer videos. Instead of splitting them into 2 parts, I could definitely do more Q&As if you guys have any more questions you want to ask, or if I don't get through all of these, I could definitely like answer more of them in future videos. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, as you can see, I'm starting with the entryway, and my idea for this build was to do something that was inspired by Spanish missions, especially those that you can see in the United States and in Mexico. I looked at a lot of pictures, mostly of ones in Mexico, I think. If I can find the original reference that I was looking at, I'll put it up on screen. It was more of like a drawing, and I'm not sure if it was supposed to be one in Mexico or California. I can't exactly remember, but I did look at a lot of Mexican churches to decorate the church part of this. I'm not a religious person myself, so I'm not sure how accurate it is because I don't have that much experience going to church, but I tried to make it look kind of authentic and at least feel like a church. So hopefully you guys do get that coming across in that building. So that's a part of it. And then there's also a main building, and I was really struggling with the main building because I originally added some like massage beds in there, and like after I did it and finished the build, I was like, this really makes no sense because I wanted it to feel like an old mission that has been turned into like a community garden / sort of gallery museum type thing, and I really didn't think the massage beds made sense. I added them because my original idea with this lot was to turn it into a spa, and then as I didn't do that, obviously, I was like, well, maybe I'll still add the beds, and it could have been like a repurposed part of this building. So I mean, you could definitely still do it. I think it looked really good, but I just didn't think it made sense. And I don't know, I liked having the extra activity though, so maybe some of you guys would want to include it. But what I ended up doing is I turned it into an archaeology type building, and so there's the archaeology tables in there. So you won't see my initial decorating of the spa. You'll see it completed at the end, and then I go through and redo it. I don't know, it was kind of a mess. Hopefully I pieced the footage together okay. It was just, I don't know. I still am not like 100% like happy with it. I think it looks good though, so let me know what you guys think. And there's also some like don't wake the llama tables and some chess tables, so there's other activities like that. I also used the fountains from, I think it was Romantic Garden was the stuff pack that it came with. And yeah, I used those fountains twice because you can interact with them, you can throw coins in them, you can like play in them, and I just thought it'd be kind of fun. But I did notice that the Sims, like random Sims visiting the lot, were kind of like getting in them and splashing around. So if they do annoy you, I think really any fountain that we have in game would look really good. So yeah, I wasn't too worried about it. And then other than that, there's a couple of bathrooms, of course. Oh, above the church. So the church is 2 stories, and I did build a bedroom up on the 2nd floor, as well as an office space and a bathroom, because I was thinking that somebody like looks after this place, and maybe they're the priest who runs the church. I don't know exactly who, I don't really know like the best way to explain what I was thinking exactly, so forgive me. But either way, I put a bedroom up there, so I was thinking that somebody works here, even though nobody will. And so if you do want to have a sim stay the night here, there is a bed available, but I was thinking it was actually somebody that works here who's supposed to stay there. So you guys will see that later on. And then also on the very left side of the building, there is a community garden, and I do have some plants there and some picnic tables so you can like sit and eat and stuff. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this build. So I'm excited for you guys to see it all come together. And you can see that I'm starting with the church right now. And I think I should probably get started with the Q&A, because I think I said everything that I mainly wanted to say. Oh yeah, there's a kitchen too. So that's supposed to be like connected to the church. And then I was thinking that you could eat there as well, but I was thinking it was mainly for whoever works here. But either way, they like work and live here. So hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of confusing, especially the more I explain it, but I don't know, it's okay. But either way, so that's basically it for the build, as far as everything I think I want to say. And then going on to the Q&A, the first question I'm going to answer is from Tegberry, and they say, what expansion packs would you recommend? Which ones would you not recommend? I love you so much. Oh, I love you too. The ones that I would recommend the most would definitely be like Cats and Dogs, Seasons. I personally really love City Living for the apartments in the world, not so much the decorations. Some of the items I do really like, but overall like the art style of the pack isn't my favorite, but I really love having apartments. And as far as like game packs and stuff packs, I really love, I like Dine Out a lot, Spa Day, Jungle Adventure, Strangerville. I really pretty much like all of the game packs a lot. I think they're so cool. I like Realm of Magic. I've recently been trying to build in Realm of Magic in the like mystical area, and I am struggling. So hopefully that build will be coming sometime in the near future if I can figure it out. But yeah, pretty much any game pack in my opinion are all really good. The stuff packs I mostly really like too. I especially really like Laundry Day. I like Tiny Living a lot. I do not recommend the luxury party stuff. I don't think it's worth it at all. I mean, a couple of the cast items are pretty good, but I think they're only really good if you compare them to the earlier packs. If you compare them to newer packs, they're not that great. Like, we've gotten some really good Create Sim items, and like textures have gotten a lot better. So I don't know. Yeah, definitely luxury party is not for me. And maybe Spooky Day wouldn't be for some of you guys too, especially if you have Seasons. I do really like the floorboards that come with that pack though. So yeah, I don't know. I think I pretty much like most of the expansions and game packs though, but luxury party when it comes to stuff packs, I am not impressed. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Lion XSS. Also for fun one, who would you rather, Brad Pitt or Orlando Bloom? That's such a fun question. Brad Pitt all day, every day. Orlando Bloom, not so much. He's definitely not my type. I don't think he's like ugly by any means, but like I get the appeal, but not my type. Brad Pitt, definitely. Oh, that was fun. Okay, anyways, the next one comes from TKA. How did you decide to start a YouTube, and will you ever do Let's Plays again? Love your style of building and love listening to your bubbly personality. Oh, you guys are so nice to me. So I decided to start a YouTube channel when I was living out of state. My husband had to transfer for work, and so we were living basically somewhere where we didn't really know anybody, and I was going to school currently in California, so I was taking online classes. And I didn't leave the apartment very much because I didn't know anybody and I was going to school online. And so I was just watching a lot of YouTube, and especially Sims YouTube at the time, and I still definitely do. Some of my favorite things to watch. And so I was just really inspired to kind of figure it out. And since I was enjoying watching Sims videos so much, I thought that I would try out making Sims videos, and I was already building so much. I did that a lot in my spare time, and basically just spending so much time alone and just kind of wanted to try it out and see how YouTube worked. And yeah, I never really thought that it would ever develop into what it has become today. And I'm so grateful that it has. Like, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And as far as Let's Plays, I do sometimes think about it, but it's just not a video type that I really gravitate towards building. See, my brain is on building. Gravitate towards making. I've done a couple of things. I did the Not So Berry for a while, but I would just kind of take really long breaks, and I just feel like that's not the best way to share a video or a series of videos. And I don't know, it's just, I don't want to completely take it off the table because I might change my mind in the future, but for now, it's not a type of video that I really want to make. So I know it's kind of a bummer. I know a lot of people do like those types of videos, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know if they're for me. So that's not a very good answer. But I do really want to tell stories though with my Sims, especially Sims in my save file. So I've been considering and toying around with the idea of making stories with them. So we'll see if that comes in the future. I need some like practice, and I need to like sit down and actually try to make machinimas, but I think that would be a great way to tell stories without doing Let's Plays. So we'll see if that ever comes, and if you guys want to see that, definitely let me know your thoughts or anything that you guys have, recommendations or things that you would like to see come in possible stories in the future. Thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Laura Hart. What is the one thing or activity you have missed most while quarantined at home? Do you miss working a regular job, or is this your dream job, YouTube? So yeah, YouTube is my full-time job, so not much has changed for me there. I do really miss just regular like outings with my friends, like going to the bar or a restaurant or going to the gym, just any activity that's outside of the house, because I do spend so much time at home already, even before being quarantined. And yeah, I would say going to the gym I miss a lot, but actually I've been spending a lot of time riding my bike. My husband and I have been going on a lot of bike rides, and I've been learning how to rollerblade again. I haven't rollerbladed since I was like a teenager, and I am terrible, so bad. I have these roller skates right now, and I feel so clunky in them, so I've been looking for some roller blades, actually, you know, the ones that are in a row and not the four wheels side by side. But I can't find them anywhere. They're out basically everywhere. So I think I'm gonna have to order some and wait no, it was like 4 weeks I think on Amazon to get rollerblades right now, which is crazy. But I mean, I've actually been seeing so many people outside. There's more kids in my neighborhood than I even realized existed. Like, my husband and I were talking several months ago how we realized that there really wasn't that many kids in our neighborhood, but it turns out there are. They were just inside. And so now we're seeing them at like parks and like going out on like family walks and riding their bikes and stuff. Like, people are still maintaining distances from each other, but they're like out and active a lot more, which I think is really good. And I hope that once this whole thing is over, people kind of still stick with that, being outdoors and active and like just spending that extra time, not only being active, but like with their families and stuff. Like, I'm sure they're spending time with their families if they're inside too, but it just seems like a positive, and I hope people continue with it. So yeah, I've been enjoying that, but I miss going to the gym and going out with my friends and just kind of doing things like that. So yeah, you guys should let me know if you guys are missing anything in particular, especially if you're not working right now. Are you missing your job or school or something along those lines? Definitely let me know. The next one comes from Kane Stitch, I think is how you say your name. I'm probably not saying that correctly, but advice for people who are building beginners. Just keep building. It's kind of difficult at the beginning. I think everybody struggles, especially with just like making simple shapes like these boxes look interesting and adding details, and especially finding styles that you really like or objects that you really like. It just takes time, and I would definitely always recommend looking at Pinterest or just Google Images, anywhere that you can like look at reference pictures. But I definitely recommend like Pinterest, because you can save boards and kind of save all of the images so you can refer back to them later. Like, I will save a ton of pictures regarding like a certain idea that I have, or a certain architectural style, or something based on a world that we have, and then I kind of get stuck sometimes, and I'll go back through and I will refer to those reference pictures, especially if I want to build a specific world or in a specific style, then I have those like ready to go. So that's what I would definitely recommend. And yeah, the next one comes from Doris J. I can't remember if this was asked before, but what's your cat's name? So I have two cats. I have a boy cat, his name is Carter, and then I have a girl cat and her name is Madison. I've shared more pictures of Carter on like Instagram, so if you guys do follow me there, you've probably seen a ton of pictures of him. I think I've shared like one or two of Madison, but she's always like hiding behind curtains or just kind of more elusive, and she doesn't like that much attention, especially if people are around. Obviously that's not too big of a problem right now, but she's just not as photogenic too. Like Carter's very photogenic. Like she's equally as pretty. Like both of my cats I think are very beautiful, but he just is a really unique looking cat. So I actually get a lot of questions about him, and I think he's so cute, and I just love them. So yeah, Carter and Madison, we actually name our pets after presidents. So yeah, we have President Carter, President Madison, and then our dog is President Reagan. Yeah, thank you for your question. The next one comes from Cande Rivas, I think is how you say your name. Hey Dawn, here's a question for you from Argentina. Did you go to college? If so, what did you major in? Have you ever worked in that field? I love your builds. They are very inspiring. Oh, thank you. Hope you and your family, pets and plants are doing well. Loads of love. Oh, thank you. Everyone is doing very well, and I hope your family is doing well too. So yes, I did go to college. I went to a community college right after, I was gonna say right after high school. That is a big lie. I went when I was 23. Why was I gonna say that? I started going to college when I was 23, and I went to a community college and I got a liberal studies degree. And then after that, I went to a university straight away, and I went there for 3 years, and I got a degree in geology, and I've never worked in the field. As part of getting a geology degree, at least in the US, you do have to do field work. So I did do field work, so I have, I guess, some experience kind of doing geology, but it was not for me. And thankfully, right as I was finishing my degree, I started doing YouTube. I wasn't working and doing YouTube when I first started. Obviously, that took some time to make that a possibility. After that, I did work at a bank, and then I worked at an elementary school for a while, and then I started doing YouTube. So I had a couple of jobs in between getting my degree and doing YouTube, but never geology. So yeah, thank you so much for your question. And then the next one comes from Amanda Kappenman, I think is how you say your name. What's your least favorite expansion pack in each category and favorite pack in each category? And categories being stuff packs, expansion packs, and game packs. So I think I should start with my favorites, and my favorite expansion pack I think would have to be Cats and Dogs, because I love the world and the art style and basically everything about that pack. I really like it a lot. There are some other expansion packs that I really like too that come in very close, so it's kind of hard, but I think I would definitely have to say Cats and Dogs. And then my favorite game pack has to be Parenthood, because I love the art style. I use that stuff so much, especially the tile is probably overused by me and most people, but I really like the pack a lot. It's very fun for me as a builder, and also a lot of my opinions around this would be from like a building perspective, because I don't do a lot of gameplay. And then my favorite stuff pack has to be Laundry Day, which is probably not a surprise to any of you guys. Probably none of these are going to be a surprise, but yeah, I really like the art style of that pack, and I love having the realistic aspect of adding laundry to our builds. I think is really cool for me. Like, I like the realistic stuff a lot. And then my least favorites. So I feel like for expansion packs, picking out a least favorite is kind of difficult. But I think I would have to say it's very close between Get Famous and Get to Work. I like Get Famous a lot. I like the art style. I think it's really nice. I like the gameplay. I did do some of that in my own time, which was a lot of fun. And I really like the world too, even though it's just small. And that's the reason, like, I want to like make it not be my favorite pack or my least favorite expansion, because I was really disappointed about the world like a lot. I know a lot of people were too, so I'm definitely not alone in this. But for me, being from California, like, I had really high hopes for a world that was inspired by California, especially Los Angeles. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed about that, but I'm gonna say Get to Work is my least favorite, because even though I really like that pack, I feel like there's so many things that could be improved. And so it just kind of is a bit disappointing to me sometimes, even though I really like a lot of the items. I like the idea of building for it, even though I've only done one hospital before. I actually get a lot of questions about this, especially for my save file. I have rebuilt the science lab, so that one is one of my most favorite builds, if not my favorite build I've ever done. Like, I'm really pleased with it, especially the one in my save file, because I did make some changes in my save. Maybe some of you guys have noticed. I thought it was pretty cool anyways. And I really want to do a hospital, and I really want to do a police station. It's just kind of an intimidating build to do. So those will be coming eventually, and I will build them for my save. But yeah, I just think there's a lot of improvements that could be made on that pack. And then my least favorite game pack would have to be vampires. And not because I don't really like the art style, it's because I just don't really like building for vampires. I think a lot of the furniture is really cool, but some of the like creative sim items and like the gameplay is just so specific. And I know I said I wasn't really going to use gameplay, like I'm definitely much more of a builder, but I don't really like building in the world, so that brings it down for me. But also, like, the creative sim items are not my favorite, and the gameplay I'm not interested in at all, so it'd have to be that pack. And then my least favorite stuff pack is Luxury Party, and I think it always will be. I don't like that pack at all. I feel like it came with like nothing. I think it is the first stuff pack that came with The Sims 4. So maybe they just hadn't quite figured out exactly what they wanted to do with stuff packs or something like that. I don't know. I think they've improved greatly. I actually really like stuff packs. They're some of my favorite packs. Like, I think Kids Room stuff, Laundry Day, like I already mentioned, Tiny Living is really good, and Movie Hangout, and basically like all of them. Like, I really like them. I don't like Luxury Party though. And so yeah, those would have to be my least favorite and favorites. And the next one comes from Tosh. What is your favorite size house to build in The Sims? My favorite things to build are actually apartments. So pretty much any smaller apartment, not the large ones. I do have a new apartment series that I'm planning on doing that'll make me build some of the larger ones. So I'm going to be talking about that pretty soon in another apartment build. But yeah, I really like building apartments. But when it comes to houses, I would say like probably a 30 by 20 lot, or maybe a 40 by 30, like a good size house that has like 3 bedrooms and a lot of outdoor space, so I can do like a garden and a lot of landscaping, because landscaping is one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, probably like a house that's like 3 bedrooms, I would say, on either a 30 by 20 or a 40 by 30. Probably more towards a 40 by 30 would be my like favorite size family home to do. Yeah, thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from SimTime Forever, and they say, are you an Alpha or Maxis Match fan, and why? So I am definitely much more of a Maxis Match fan, and that mostly has to do with because it matches the art style of The Sims 4, and I think having Alpha in your game just doesn't really, it just doesn't match. It's not that it's bad or anything. Like, I actually really like some Alpha, especially the hairs. I did download some of it, and use some of it for a while, but this was a couple of years ago or so, and I do really like it. I think it's pretty, but it just doesn't match, so I don't really like having it in my game. I could see possibly liking it for a future Sims game if it was a bit more realistic looking as a whole, but I think I would definitely prefer if the Sims franchise stayed in this more cartoony style. I just think I prefer it a bit more, so yeah, I would definitely have to say Maxis Match is my favorite. The next one comes from Medina So, and they say, have you ever lost your passion for YouTube or The Sims, and would you ever quit YouTube? I love your personality and builds. By the way, they make my day, and I always look forward to them. Oh, thank you. So I haven't lost my passion. No, there's definitely days where I don't want to do it. I mean, but I think that goes with anything. There's just some days where I'm just not feeling it. And some days I really want to, and I'm just not inspired, and I kind of just struggle, and then it makes me really frustrated. And so I'll just take a day or so and just kind of do something else, and that helps me kind of reset. But I definitely haven't lost my passion for doing YouTube. I really enjoy doing it. Like, I consider making another channel. Hopefully that'll be in the works within the next couple of months or so. I have some plans, and I will definitely let you guys know. So no, I really enjoy doing YouTube. I don't see myself doing anything else for work. If I was to do anything else for work, it would be probably working in an elementary school again, because that was probably my most favorite job I ever did, but I love doing YouTube as a job. And as for The Sims, sometimes like if it's been a while since we've had any new content, sometimes I will just become uninspired. And it's not that I don't enjoy doing it, it's just because I'm just kind of running out of ideas. But as soon as we get like a new pack, I'm usually like flooded with ideas and it kind of re-sparks it. So that definitely helps. But even in between packs, like right now I have a lot of ideas. I actually went through a bit of builder's block recently, but yesterday I started building something that I'm obsessed with. And so I'm really excited to share it with you guys. And so it kind of comes in waves, but as a whole, I haven't really lost my passion for either. So yeah, it's not something I've really struggled with, no. So thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Lisa Monroe, and they say, do you have some tips to start a gaming channel about The Sims? P.S. I love your videos. You're so talented. You guys are way too nice to me. I do not deserve this. You guys are too sweet. Thank you. So some tips about starting a gaming channel about The Sims. I would say, first off, think about what do you already enjoy doing in the game. So if you enjoy building, like that was definitely what I already enjoyed doing. So I made a building channel primarily, but maybe you enjoy really watching Let's Play, so maybe you'd be better at a Let's Player, or maybe you really enjoy Creative Sim. Also, do you like custom content? So I would definitely think about what you really like doing and then start making those types of videos. And my advice as far as like making the videos, don't worry about buying the best equipment or getting the best computer right away. Just start with whatever you have. The best thing to do at the beginning is just start making them so you can practice, you can learn how to edit, you can kind of learn your style with editing and with making videos. Maybe you want to do voiceovers, maybe you don't. There's definitely people that don't do voiceovers, and there's people that do. Obviously, I do voiceovers. So maybe you have a preference to one of those, or maybe you want to try making both of them. And I think just experimenting and actually starting making them is definitely the best way to go. But don't worry about spending a bunch of money initially. Like, I would definitely not recommend that. It's not necessary. It does help. Like, I think the first thing to get sorted would definitely be audio. That took me some time to get like sorted. And so I think that's probably one of the biggest things to do is your audio. But as far as having like the best graphics or anything, I wouldn't worry about it so much. Just start making them and start practicing, and also get a Twitter account. I know I've said this before, but everybody is on Twitter, and it's the best way to like socialize and meet other people who make videos, and to talk to the gurus and just kind of share your things in general and like kind of create a community. It's a really good place to kind of share that and like organize collabs and just kind of meet people who are also sharing Sims content, whether they have a YouTube or not. Like, I feel like it's just the best way to communicate with people is on Twitter. So that's what I would recommend. But just start making videos. If you want to do it, just start, and don't worry about making the best video. Just practice, and practice is the best thing to do at the beginning. So yeah, that would be my advice. I actually get a lot of questions about this, so maybe someday I will like actually write down all of my ideas and do like a more thorough discussion about this, because so many people I think are curious about starting channels, but they don't know where to begin. So let me know if you guys would be interested about that. But anyway, something I do want to mention actually while I'm decorating this second floor to the church, this is the bedroom obviously, and I already decorated the bathroom. I forgot the toilet. I do put a toilet in there later on, so don't worry if you guys notice that. I will put one in. I think when I decorate this next bathroom here in just a little while, I realized that I haven't placed a toilet yet, and so I go back and place one. So there will be one eventually. And then the next question comes from Chazzy Sims, and they say, what is a movie that you always watch and love every time? P.S. Mine is Parent Trap from 1998. Stay safe, Dawn. You stay safe too, thank you. Mine would have to be The Burbs with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is my favorite actor. This is also something that I've mentioned before in previous Q&As. I love him, and basically any movie by him is my favorite movie. But The Burbs is just like a classic. I grew up watching it, and even if I watch it today, it's still just such a good movie. My husband doesn't like it at all. He thinks it's a terrible movie, and I wish he liked it as much as I do, so we could just watch it all the time. But yeah, The Burbs is my favorite, or at least one of my favorite movies. It's probably not my favorite. I really don't know what my favorite movie is, but it's definitely one that I could watch and always love it every time. So thanks so much for your question. The next one comes from Marlena Trimbatch, I think is how you say your name. Advice on building family homes and roofing. Holy cow, I am so bad at roofing. Roofing can be really tricky. It's definitely something that I struggled with for a long time, but I think the best thing to do is just practice. Definitely probably watching tutorials. I know I've mentioned before that I want to do tutorials on roofing. I'm just kind of bad at recording tutorials, but that will come at some point once I figure out exactly what I want to say in a roofing tutorial. And yeah, just basically practicing is the best thing for building in general. It's just trying to recreate things possibly. Like if you look at a picture on Pinterest, especially if you find one of a floor plan, and just try to recreate it as best as you can and as accurately as you can. Of course, that doesn't always work because it's The Sims and things don't always translate that well. So that's what I would say is just practice. And building family homes, the same thing. Just looking at pictures on Pinterest or Google and trying to recreate them is a really good way to practice. And then eventually you can create things on your own. I even don't really create that many things out of my own head. Like a lot of things, I usually start with an image and I'll either change things along the way, but it's very rare that I actually just build something that just comes out of nowhere. Like I'm not that good at doing that. There's definitely people that are though, and it's like amazing. Like I pretty much always need references. So references are a great place to start. But something I do want to mention about this garden area, the plants that I have placed in the first row of the garden, I do end up having to get rid of those because before I took the screenshots, I had my sim go through and plant all of them, but I couldn't plant those. I don't know why. I don't know where you get them in Jungle Adventure. They definitely came with that pack though, because I wanted to plant only things that came with Jungle Adventure. I ended up putting some random stuff in there because I couldn't plant those. If you guys know how, let me know. But all it said is your sim doesn't own this item, so she couldn't interact with it at all. So I guess it's not a plant at all, even though it was with the plants. I don't know what that is. So let me know about that plant in the first row of the garden because it was so frustrating to me. I really wanted to plant it. But anyways, moving on to the next question. Builds by Janet says, I have a silly question and a serious question. Silly one, do those cute debug stepping stones everyone is using come with base game or with a pack? They are base game. I'm actually doing a base game build right now and I'm using them, so they are base game. And the serious question, what advice would you give someone who's just starting their Sims YouTube channel? So like I said previously, think about things that you enjoy watching already, because I think that if you're going to enjoy the videos that you're making and if you would watch them, then other people are more likely to enjoy them as well. Like just be as genuine and as much yourself as possible and just practice. Don't worry so much. If you don't want to do a voiceover, don't do a voiceover. If you want to do them, that's great because it's really good to practice, especially if you know you're going to want to do them in the future, because that's probably one of the hardest things about making videos is doing voiceovers, at least for me, because sometimes I just can't do it. I struggle with words, or I can't think of what to say, or I just don't feel like I have the energy to do it. So definitely if you want to do voiceovers, practice with them and just practice making videos. Don't worry about having the best equipment. The main thing is just learning your style of editing and what you like to make, and then you can invest money later in getting better recording equipment or improving your computer or getting a better microphone. The best thing is just to start doing it and don't worry so much. And also, like I said before, get a Twitter so you can share pictures of what you've made. You can share links to your videos. You can interact with other people. You can organize collabs and just things like that. It's a great place to like socialize and kind of do all of that kind of stuff. So but yeah, good luck with everybody who's trying to start a YouTube channel. Like it was honestly one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, and I wish you guys all the best. And don't worry, don't stress out about it too much, and you guys will be fine. Something else I want to mention about this build is I'm decorating this kitchen area. I didn't really feel like a bar made sense for this build either. I was thinking just to have another activity, it would be nice to have a bar. I think it looks good over here. I was trying to make it blend into the art style, or not the art style, the architectural style and the interior style. But I just didn't think it made sense, so I do a seating area instead later on. But if you like it, I think it looks pretty in here. And the only reason I got rid of it is because I just didn't really think a bar made sense. So that's the only thing with that. But yes, thank you so much, Janet, for your question. And the next one comes from Melody Violin, and they say, will you do Let's Play videos after your world build is complete? Yeah, like I said earlier, I just don't think I'm really one for Let's Plays, and I'm sorry for all of you who are disappointed and want to see them. Maybe they'll come. I don't want to rule it off the table, but it's just not something I'm really thinking about at the moment anyways. The next one comes from KCK, and they say, hey girly, I was wondering what you get inspiration from and how do you keep that inspiration flowing? I seem to get burnt out when building quite quickly. So I definitely get burnt out sometimes too, and if I do, I go do something else. I'll take a shower, I'll go for a walk, I'll take the rest of the day off, or maybe even the next day if I'm really struggling or running out of ideas, and I'll just look at Pinterest, I'll watch art videos, just anything that makes you feel inspired in general. I would just start doing that. Like, step away from building, step away from making videos if that's what you do, and just take a break and do something else for a while just to kind of clear your mind, especially something like taking a walk or a shower or a bath, like something that's not demanding, so you can just kind of think and relax, and it's not something that's going to like stress you out. It's going to be more relaxing. So that's what I would recommend doing. And looking at Pinterest for me is always a great place to get ideas, because I can become so inspired from looking at pictures. So that to me is always like my go-to. So yeah, that's how I stay going, but I definitely get burnout sometimes, and I get builder's block, and I kind of just struggle, and I just take a break. So if you're struggling, just take a break. That's probably the best thing to do, and at least it works for me. So I don't know, hopefully that was a useful answer. I'm not really sure how helpful that actually was. But moving on to the next question, it comes from Stephanie Jennings, and she says, hi Dawn, I hope you and your husband are doing well. My question is, if the Sims worlds were real places, which one would you most want to live in? Have a great weekend. This is such a tough question. I don't know, because I really think like Windenburg and Brindleton Bay are the two prettiest worlds. Well, I mean, Sulani's really pretty too, but I'm not sure if I'd want to live in Sulani because I feel like it might be a bit too humid, and there's no city area. Like, my ideal place to live in real life would be somewhere by the water, like on the coast, that's in a bit of a smaller town, but close to the city. I would probably pick Del Sol Valley if it had like a beach area, because then I could just live on the beach and then it would be close to the city. But I don't know. I definitely prefer to be warm, so I'd want to pick a warmer world. And so maybe I'd pick Oasis Springs. I like Strangerville, and I would like to live like on the plateau area. That would be kind of cool, but definitely not if it was an actual Sims version of that world, because the downtown area is pretty run down, and then it has that whole like, you know, plant problem. So that might be an issue. I might pick Oasis Springs because I feel like that's the most similar to where I live right now. And I think it's a pretty world, and I like that it's warm. So maybe I'd pick that. But then again, I would like to swim in the ocean in Sulani. That would be really amazing. I don't know. I feel like I'm not good at answering this question. I feel like it's so difficult. I'm so terrible at this, so I'm so sorry. I'm definitely not answering your question very well. Oasis Springs, I'm gonna go with it, even though I don't think that's the best answer or where I'd probably actually end up living, but it's the closest to where I live now, so that's what I'm gonna go with. But thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Ivy Swain, and she says, how do you remember where certain objects are in the build menu? I've been playing The Sims for a long time, and I still find it so difficult and confusing sometimes. I mean, I build almost every day, so I don't know if maybe you build that much, but I don't know. I still have things that I kind of struggle with finding, especially like in the debug menu, but when it comes to the actual build and buy menu, I really don't struggle too much. Maybe because I usually go by the room categories, and so I kind of remember where certain objects are in the different room categories. I really don't know. I feel like it's just basically spending time in the menu, and because I build every day, I find it a bit easier as time goes on to find certain things. But yeah, I feel like even if you build all the time, some things are just kind of in weird places. So I really wish there was like a better way that we could at least organize things ourselves and put things into certain categories. And I really, really don't like when they put the same object in there like 8 different times. But it's just different swatches. That drives me crazy. But then some things will change, like basically shape. Like some of the rugs, if you scroll through them, they have so many different shapes. And so I wish those were actually their own different like categories. I don't know. I feel like that is one of the main things that could be improved, is the actual way things are organized in the actual build and buy catalog in general. Drives me crazy sometimes, but just spending time finding objects and building is really the only way that I do it. I don't have any special technique or anything. But yeah, thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Ellie Smith. And when is the Furnish Newcrest starter video coming? I'm so excited. Oh, I'm excited too. I'm actually planning on maybe decorating that one today. That's my plan. We'll see if it happens. So pretty soon, probably early next week. What is today? Today is Wednesday. I do have some builds ready for the next day or so, and then this weekend. So sometime next week, maybe sooner. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't really make schedules for myself, so I'm sorry if that's a bit confusing for you guys, or if you're looking for certain builds to come out at certain times. It just works best for me not to make a schedule. And so maybe that would be a piece of advice I could give to some of you who are wanting to start a channel, that don't restrict yourself to stay into a specific schedule. Like, definitely upload consistently. That'll help your channel. But for me, schedules don't work very well, especially if I try to plan out having specific builds done, because sometimes I just don't have the inspiration to do that certain build and I have to do something else at that moment. And so I'll just put it off till maybe a week or even a month down the line, because sometimes things just, at least for me, I can't figure it out. So that's why I don't stick to a schedule, in case anybody was wondering. The next one comes from Crystallini Nathaniel, I think is how you say your name. That's a pretty name. What age did you start playing The Sims? So I actually played The Sims for the first time, The Sims 1, I think, was I like 11, maybe 10 or 11, something like that. And that was at my friend's house. I played it like once or twice. But the actual time I got into The Sims was The Sims 4, and I was 26, I think, somewhere around there. Yeah, I think I was 26. So yeah, I actually got started with The Sims pretty late, even though I did play The Sims 1, like I said, a couple of times. I played The Sims 2 a little bit more when I was in middle school with my sister. I never played The Sims 3. I'm thinking about getting it and trying it out because I'm kind of curious. So if you guys would be interested in seeing any videos on me struggling with The Sims 3, because I'd never played it before, I think that could be kind of fun. But yeah, 26 with The Sims 4 is when I really got into it, and I've been pretty much addicted ever since. Not even pretty much, I've been absolutely addicted ever since. So yeah, thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Thought, and they say, which other games did you play before you started playing The Sims, or other games you would recommend for Sims players? So I never really played anything else that was quite like The Sims, though if you're looking for something that maybe as a Sims player you might like, I would say Animal Crossing, because it seems to me like a lot of people who are into The Sims are into the Animal Crossing right now. I've never played it. I'm not really sure if I have too much of an interest in playing it, even though it looks so cute. That's the only reason I think I want to play it, is just to like look at the decorations, because it's such an adorable game. Like, I like seeing the screenshots that everybody's been sharing. It's super cute. So it seems like if people are into The Sims, they're also into Animal Crossing. So maybe that'd be something you'd want to consider if you have a Switch or something. But as far as games that I like to play Battlefield. I still play Battlefield. I think I actually started playing that about the same time that I got into The Sims. Before that, I used to play Call of Duty, but I hadn't really liked the most recent games for Call of Duty, so I haven't really played that in a while. And I don't know, I would like to though, because I always liked the like smaller maps that Call of Duty had. But other than that, I haven't really played too many other games though. I would like to, maybe. I just don't feel like I have the time to. There's so many other things that I want to learn and spend time doing that I'm not making time for, that I feel like before I ever started playing any other games, like I need to actually take time doing those, like painting and doing like crafts. I do crafts, painting not so much, but I definitely need to like make some more time for those types of things. So yeah, I don't really play that many games. If you guys have any like favorite games or anything that you would recommend to me, definitely let me know, because I wouldn't rule it out. I definitely would like to play some games, but I need to spend some time doing other things as well. But yeah, the next one comes from Curtis H. And he says, would you ever try playing a previous Sims game like The Sims 3? I love your videos. Thank you. So yes, this is definitely something I have considered. I mentioned this a little while ago, and yeah, just let me know if you guys want to see that. It's something I've been kind of toying around with for a while, but I'm just haven't taken the steps to actually get The Sims 3, but I think it would be kind of fun, and maybe some of you guys would like to see videos like that. So definitely let me know. I do want to say something about the build really quickly, and that's because here in this building you will see that there's these rooms with the changing stalls from spa day. That's because right now is when I currently have the massage tables on the second floor. So if some of the footage in this part looks a bit weird, or there's certain parts that are cut out, that's because I didn't want to show me decorating the second floor twice. Normally I would leave it in so you guys could see what it looked like fully, but since this video was so long, I decided to cut it out. But you will see it decorated, and then me replace the items at the very end of the video. So hopefully, yeah, I put everything together okay. But I really like this building, especially this bottom area I think is kind of nice with the reception desk, and the fountains I thought were pretty cool. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the speed build. But the next question comes from Panda Girl, and she says, what do you enjoy doing in your free time when you're not building, editing? Love you. Oh, I love you too. So I really enjoy I really enjoy spending time with my friends, but that hasn't really been too much of a possibility recently. But I really also like just going outside, going on walks, going to the park. My husband and I have been doing a lot of picnics recently, going on bike rides, and I really enjoy doing craft projects. I've been doing a lot of macrame. I've got a loom for Christmas. I started weaving it, but I'm not very good at it, and I need to kind of redo what I did. So I need some practice with that. I also recently bought some clay so I could do some oven-baked clay. And I also want to do some painting. I really enjoy just doing arts and crafts in general. Painting is one that I never make time for, and seriously, that's like a big goal of mine right now, especially since there's not too many options of doing other things outside of the house. Like I really want to spend some time and actually do those things that I've been wanting to do for myself that I never make time for. So it's a big goal of mine. Hopefully I will do that. Hopefully I will make that happen. So yeah, that's what I enjoy doing. But the next one comes from Lizzie with Fire, and they say, okay, 2 different fandom questions: Buffy, Angel, or Spike, and Gilmore Girls, Jess or Logan or Dean. I have no idea. I don't watch either of these shows. I'm sorry. I feel kind of bad because I would like to give you an answer, but I did watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer a little bit when I was a kid, but it's been so long that I could not even tell you who Angel or Spike are, and I've never seen Gilmore Girls. But a lot of you guys have mentioned Gilmore Girls in the comments, like asking me to build certain things or just making references to that show, so maybe I should watch it at some point. Maybe I would like it. I don't know. I've never seen it. So yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not answering your question. But the next one comes from B. Simmer, and they say, is it possible that you could create an apartment for grandma and 2 grandchildren, girl and boy twins? Keep up the great work and stay safe. Thank you. Yeah, I could definitely do something like that. I actually get a lot of requests to do grandparent apartments. It's something I've been thinking about actually a lot recently, and I did mention that I have a new apartment series that I'm planning on doing, and I could definitely probably do some grandparent apartments in that one, at least 1, if not 2. So yeah, hopefully I will make it happen sooner than later, but yes, it's definitely a possibility, and it's something I want to do. But the next one comes from Anne Murphy, and she says, what's your favorite kind of build to do, and could you also do some houses and maybe apartments with only base game, or base game and city living? So I'm actually starting a base game only build. I started it yesterday. I started it yesterday, and I will probably be finishing that today, so that'll be coming sometime next week. And as far as doing apartments with base game and city living, yes, it's definitely something I've thought about a lot. I've done, I think, 2 before in the past, but it's been a really long time, so I've been thinking about that pretty recently, so it's something I'm thinking about. And my favorite kind of build to do are apartments. I love doing apartments, and I also love doing community lots, but I find them harder to start. Like once I get started with a community lot and I like figure out the like style and the actual structure, because I feel like building the actual community lot itself, like just the exterior, is always the most difficult part, and then the interior kind of follows. But I really love doing them. Like this is one of my most favorite builds that I've ever done, the one that I'm building right now, and it's a community lot. But apartments I think are always going to be like my all-time favorite. So yeah, I would say they're my favorite, but also like family homes. I don't know. I have a lot of favorites, I think, for different reasons. So it's kind of a hard question. But yes, definitely more base game houses are coming, and I will do a base game and city living apartment eventually, once I figure out exactly which apartment I want to do it in and for who I'm building it for, and those kinds of things. But also something I wanted to mention when it comes to base game builds, I started a playlist for all of my base game only builds. So if you guys are looking for them, and maybe there's some that you've missed that I've uploaded before in the past, definitely look there, and I'll talk about that more when I do my base game only build here pretty soon. So keep your guys' eyes peeled for that if it's something you're interested in. But the next one comes from Caramel, and that's a cool name. It's Cara and then Mel. It's like two different names, but it's Caramel, like caramel. That's cute. Okay. Anyways, when did you start building a lot on The Sims, and where did you get your motivation to keep building from? Also, where do you find inspiration from? So like I mentioned before, Pinterest, and how do I keep my motivation is just because I really enjoy doing it. And so it keeps me motivated because I like it. So I just find it a lot of fun, and I feel like it's like the most creative game, and that's why I really enjoy playing The Sims and building in it. So that really keeps me going. And when did I start building a lot? As soon as I got The Sims. So like I said, I think I was about 26. I was in college, and I actually started playing The Sims on mobile and was getting really frustrated. And so my husband told me that I should actually go and buy the new Sims game. I don't think it was new at the time, but you know, it was the newest version, and I didn't even think they made The Sims anymore. I hadn't heard anything about it. And so I went to Walmart and I bought The Sims, and I immediately became like so obsessed. It's just, building was like the first thing that I did. I did more gameplay back then, but gameplay for me didn't hold up as much as building. Like I really like building and still really like building. And yeah, that was like the first thing that really got me hooked. So yeah, right away, as soon as I started playing. So thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Tally, I think is how you say your name. And they say, if you could travel to anywhere in the world, where would it be? And what would you do there and try there? If I could travel anywhere, I would say it would be back to Europe. And I'm saying Europe as a whole because there's a lot of different places I want to go in Europe. I went last September, and I have been like in love. Like my husband and I have been talking about it so much recently because we're in, you know, quarantine with all of the coronavirus stuff. And so we're kind of like reminiscing about actually being able to travel, even though we probably wouldn't be traveling right now, but we would maybe be planning a vacation for the summer or something. I don't know exactly when we'd be planning for another vacation, but I don't know, it's something we're always talking about. We've just been reminiscing a lot about that vacation recently because we were so impressed and like in love with everywhere we went. We went to Spain, Portugal, France, and then a tiny little part of Switzerland. I definitely want to go back to Switzerland though, so maybe I would choose that out of all of them because we only saw like a tiny portion of it, and I thought it was so pretty, and I definitely want to see like the rest of the country, but mainly Europe, and then travel around to different countries is what I would really like to do. Like I really want to go to Eastern Europe, and I want to see Northern Europe, and I want to go to the UK and travel around. Like there's pretty much like everywhere I want to go. And as far as things that I want to try, I know food is like a big thing for a lot of people when they travel. For us, it's not like a huge part of why we travel. I do like to try different things, but I more just like to see the people and the different towns and the architectural styles, and just kind of like, I don't know how to say it. It's like trying things, because I don't think there's like a specific thing that I want to try. I just really like being there and seeing new things. It's what I enjoy doing. So yeah, I don't know. Thank you so much for your question. We are coming up on almost the end of the video though, so I do want to answer one or two more questions. I will try to answer as many as I can, but we'll see how long it takes me to answer them. So the next one comes from Amanda Panda. That's a cute name. Would you ever consider doing a real-time build tutorial for new beginner builders, and maybe landscaping as well? So yeah, this is definitely something I've considered doing, like a real-time building but tutorial style. It's something I've actually wanted to do for a really long time. I just haven't planned out the best way to do it. But if you guys would really be interested in seeing something like that, definitely let me know. because I think it would probably be the best way to do a landscaping and like roofing tutorial, because those types of things are kind of like case by case scenarios. So maybe I could do different builds for each of them. I don't know if I would do like a massive real-time build. It would probably be like smaller family homes and try to do like 1 or 2, maybe 3 different types of styles. I don't know. We'll see what I end up doing, but it's definitely something that I've thought about, and I hope to make it happen, hopefully sooner than later. But thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Cry BBPNG, I think is how you say your name. And they say, not really a question, but more of a comment. Your voice is super relaxing, and I use your videos to help me sleep. Oh, keep up the great work, Dawn. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Think I have time to answer one more question, and I have this one from Sarah Grace, and she says, how did you meet your husband, and when and where did you get married? Sending you lots of love from Canada. Thank you. So we met when we were in the 1st grade, and you know, we knew each other through elementary school. He moved away when I think we were in middle school, like 7th or 8th grade. I forget exactly when he moved away. And then he moved back when we were 20, and we met back up. We started dating, and then actually really quickly after we started dating, I moved to California with him. And it was kind of crazy. My sister got really mad at me because it was probably a bit fast, but it definitely worked out for me, and we got married after 5 years of dating. We've been together 10 years now, and we got married at my parents' place because my parents have a farm. And yeah, we got married in July 5 years ago. So this summer in July, we will be celebrating our 5-year wedding anniversary. So yeah, that's it for the questions. I know there's some more that I didn't answer, quite a few more. So if you guys do want to hear me do any more Q&As like this in the future, especially for builds that are a bit longer, I don't think I'll do any Q&As for shorter builds, but maybe if I have any longer ones in the future. But this is it for the build, so I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshots. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!